Since getting home, I just ate some lunch and it looks like we now have an overcast and the breeze has picked up. It's stressful being a content creator when it's windy out because you never know if your camera is gonna like mute the wind or pick it up. But I made a list of the things I'm hoping to get done yesterday, which is the video that last went out. I do my videos like once a week, so it will be like a week from this video. First, we need to unload everything out of the truck. We have a bunch of plants to plant, flowers and garden stuff. I need to collect the chicken eggs yet. We need to mulch some more trees, and I have a planter that I want to plant. The rest of the week, tomorrow I am hanging out with a friend, and then I have some like a book club in the evening and some different things, a chiropractor appointment, a consignment appointment. And then on Friday, I'm going to a citywide garage sale with my mom the entire day. Saturday, we have like a women's Bible study church kickoff thing. And then Sunday is church and 3 graduation parties. And so it is just a busy week. So I need to take advantage when I have the time. Back here, we have all sorts of things. Topsoil, composted manure, 10 bags of mulch, and then there's some peat moss down in the bottom. In the truck, we have all of my plants up here. Like I said, I just get what I know I need, and then I can go back for anything else to make up for. And then I bought some furniture movers, some stakes for when we fence around our trees, and some more of this weed paper. This month, I have to help watch my nephews for a few days. I think it ends up being 5 days. And I'm trying to figure out things I want to do with them, what we're going to do around here. And when I was at Menards, I found the perfect thing because of our chickens. They have now made this whole like dirt pile over here, which I'll show you in a second. And we like removed some landscaping that was there that was like no good. And now they've just gotten to it, and we have not gotten more dirt to fill it in and fence it off so they'll stay out of it so we can grass seed it. So I thought, little boys, what more do they love than dirt? So I got this little dump truck, and it comes in here with a little rake, a little shovel, a little watering can, 2 little containers so you can like make stuff. And bless my little nephew's hearts, my oldest nephew, Edward, he loves all my things that I have and wants them for himself. So I got 2 of them because we don't need any arguing at Aunt Summer's house. Got the truck unloaded. These are all the goods. I have a bunch of like vegetables, herbs, flowers, and then my other random things. Now we need to unload the truck. I guess one perk about having a big yard is being able to just drive the vehicle through the entire thing and drop off everything where I need it to go. So I read your guys' comments and I took your advice, and I got some composted manure for my raised beds that I'm gonna also add in on top of what I've already done. And now what I do is I just drive to all these different spots to start my lawn and just dump things out. While I'm by the barn, I thought I would come in here to collect eggs. I'm trying to keep up on it since we have a chicken eating eggs. Pretty much I come down here a couple times a day. So right now, it looks like we have 4 eggs. Make that 3 eggs. Out here at the windbreak, yesterday Jay and I got 2 trees done. I ran out of weed barrier. I have some of the like crappy stuff down in the barn, but since this is something that we want to last a long time, I wanted to make sure I used a good weed barrier, and we ran out after 2 trees. This is what we are doing. We are putting down the weed barrier, mulching, and then protecting our little white pines, and then we're putting over just some netting to make sure the deer can't rub the trees or bite off the tops. Originally, we did this method where we wrapped around the poles, and then Jay came up with this method where we could just take the netting and like drape it over and zip tie it. Down here is an example of what the deer will do. So they either bit this off or rubbed on it, most likely rubbed on it, and broke off this whole part of the tree. Now we have to replant this because the tree is not going to grow up, it's going to grow out. And yeah, it's a huge bummer. So now we're just trying to do everything possible to not have this happen again. At the end of the season, did not realize I hadn't been spraying my deer repellent, which reminds me I forgot to pick up a spray bottle at Menards. But anyway, I've been putting deer repellent. I also have Irish Spring soap that I need to crush up and start putting out here. And then my neighbor, she is a dog groomer, and so I have her save me dog hair every once in a while. And then about every 2 weeks, I come and put out a clump of dog hair at each tree, just so it smells like there is an animal scent around here. And that has seemed to work really well. Went ahead and brought the truck back, got everything delivered where it needs to. I still think I'm gonna need more mulch, so that's a little bit of a bummer, but it's just gonna be a couple bags, and I could actually fit that in my vehicle. But we unloaded the truck, got the chicken eggs. So now the biggest priority on here is to plant my plants. So I think I'm gonna start in the garden to get those going, and my goal is going to be to have everything planted in the garden in 30 minutes or less. And then the only other thing, I have a few like flowers to plant, but I'm gonna start with the garden just because I really want those in the ground. I do not want to have to baby them by moving them outside every day and making sure my chickens don't eat them, just all the stuff. It also looks like it's gonna rain, and I hope it doesn't because the garden needs me. The first garden that I planted here, I just remember that I took so much time planting it. I mean, everything was just planted perfectly. I was so delicate with the plants. I had this plan written out in a little journal that I keep of like my gardening, and now I'm like, let's just get in there and get it done. So the supplies that I bring out to the garden with me are this little scoopy thing. This is what I use to plant like all my plants, so I can really get down deep. And then I use this little scoop, and this I mainly use for like my beans and stuff that I plant. I have a bucket that I always keep down here in case I have any scraps or too much wood chips or something that I need to pull away. And then I have this kneeling mat that I use. I've had this for years. My friend got it for me for my birthday, and I love it. And she literally got it with me with this like hole defect in it. She got it on clearance. And then I have all my plants just right over here to the side. So usually what I do is I start by just taking the plants and putting them on the mat that they are going to go to. Oh no, it's sprinkling. I'm probably gonna have to put you guys away because I'm gonna stay out here as long as it's not downpouring. Hopefully we're in the clear from the rain for a little bit. There's still one cloud above us, but I'm just going through and grabbing all my plants and just placing them where I think I want to plant them. So here I have some Sweet 100 tomatoes and Early Girls. I put Early Girls over here. My cherry tomato plants I like to keep on the edges of my garden, mainly because they become so just like overgrown and wild. And it's just what I always do. Definitely have a lot more room than what I bought for. But again, I don't want extras because then I always just have to give them away. And I'd rather just get what I need and be done. So I have a couple tomato plants here. And when I buy tomato plants, I always try to get 4-packs. I just think these will catch up to the big ones that are in a single pot within 2 weeks. So save yourself some money and get yourself a 4-pack. And then I have some peppers over here. Some of those peppers will also go in this mat. Tomato plants are one of the only plants that, okay, hold on guys, you are really crooked. A lot of work goes into content creating. I wish there was a counter on my tripod of how many times I had to raise and lower it for different clips. Tomatoes are one of the only plants that I actually do something special for, and it just goes for how I plant them. So tomato plants have little hairs on them, and those little hairs can turn into roots. And so what I always do is try to plant my tomato plants as deep as possible so they get a really strong root structure, especially out here in the wind. It's just gonna be better for them. So this is when this thing comes into play, this tool. Scoop up the dirt and then you can drop it out. As you can see, there are some leaves that are lower down. What I always do is I take off the bottom leaves and they just snap right off. And I usually just throw them somewhere on the ground for like a compost. So now all of the energy for my plant that is trying to grow is going to go into these upper leaves and into its root system before it makes more leaves. And in no time, it will have a ton more leaves. Then you'll be pruning. But I don't know if this will pick up on camera. I can't really see well out here right now with the lighting, but there's these little hairs and those will turn into roots. So I try to plant the plant as deep as possible, so like all the way up to here. I also know some people that will plant their plants like sideways and bend them up like this, but I just put mine straight up and down. If you are considering doing a garden, I'm gonna give you a piece of advice that I wish I would have known before I made my garden. I'm not for sure how many square feet my garden is, but something that I wish I would have done is made it a little bit bigger and then had a walkway all the way around and then the fence. Right now we have to utilize the space all the way up to the fence or we just don't have enough room. And for most things that is okay, but it is really hard for my tomato plants because then, as you see, like I have 2 tomato plants here. It's really hard to get the fruit off of that back tomato plant because it's up against the fence. And you might think, oh, just stick your hand in through the fence. It just does not work like that. So it's like nice for the support, but I really wish I had a walkway that I could get all the way around and get to things easier. Because when the plants get big and there's a lot of pollen on them and stuff, it's just not like the most fun sticking your hand through to grab this stuff. Really not a big deal, but I'm just saying if I could do something different for a future garden, that is something that I would do, is have a walkway around the garden and then a fence. And some people don't even need a fence in their garden, which is really nice. My friend, she has a garden where she like has strips in her lawn and then she can move the lawnmower through the strips as her walkway and it looks so nice. But we have so many deer where I live that we have to have it fenced. It's just not even an option. I don't know how much we're gonna get done today. There was no rain in the forecast and now we have a full-on thunderstorm. So I just sprinted up to the garage because it's huge raindrops pouring down. And the cat, she is in the garden. I told her to come out, but she didn't. So she's just chilling in the rain. And yeah, I don't know if I'll get to go do more out there, but I'm really hoping I can at least get in 3 more packs of plants today. I just had to go out there and sacrifice myself because all of a sudden my mats were flying up in the air because I hadn't pinned down the sides yet. So this is a lesson for me. Never do a job halfway, finish it. There was literally no rain in the forecast for today. And it is downpouring. My ears are so cold. It was coming at an angle. My back is soaking wet. I had to run up here like 5 different times. I'm out of breath. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to go outside anymore today. So guys, this is the end of the video. I'll see you in the next one.